Welcome! We're live on this week's episode of
Live on
The
tape.
Adventures of the Redbane Guild. And last week, you all managed to finagle your way into a deal with the three giants, Kerfundai, Shintala, and Vebalen, in the Longhouse to give you some information, even though they were a little suspicious of you shady characters. Therefore, you left the Longhouse. You leave the Longhouse, having one of those giants, and gaining their advice to seek out Gerundian the brewer, for he travels far and wide with his ales, and perhaps he has knowledge of the Cliff Watcher. So, here we are. After leaving, you walk out of the Longhouse, and it's later in the afternoon now, and the wind bites at your faces, bone-chillingly cold. You walk through the empty, not really empty, but the winding, seemingly unplanned streets of Hawaii. Okay, it's these seemingly unplanned streets of the town between yurts and rhino pens. Giants, some go about their business about you, some ignoring you completely, others casting you curious glances or even nodding and greeting. And you pass by one rhino pen, and you see sitting kind of idly while a couple of kula, those birds, watch the rhinos in the pen. One giant is sitting cross-legged on the ground, just sort of relaxing, until she sees you three approaching. It's a female giant. It's about.
Is it also bearded?
No, actually, she's not bearded. However, the hair is also whitish, sort of tied back, and a bit longish down her back. And she's dressed similarly to the other giants, but with a leather covering all over the top. And other than that, similarly adorned. There's antlers and things, with her used as jewelry and things like that. And she also has a string of beads, their currency. And she sees you, and immediately looks, you can tell, very suspicious of you. She looks you up and down, and she stands, rising to full about 17-ish feet high, and hands on her hips, looks at you three. She grabs her staff from beside her and on the ground, and looks at you, says, you there, small folk. You are not here to poach my beasts, are you?
No.
Absolutely
no,
not.
We are not here for that at all.
For I suspect that one such as yourselves stalks us, perhaps even as we speak.
Really?
One such as yourselves I saw in the forest not 2 days past.
Can you describe them? I can assure you it was not us, but...
He seeks to poach one of our Jandal. She gestures at the rhinos. Perhaps take the horn as a trophy. And then she narrows her eyes and says, mayhaps you are with him.
We got here 2 days ago, and we have been traveling from the shore. We only arrived in town today, and that is the truth. We are not stalking or hunting your animals. Promise.
Quite a coincidence, then, would you say? Meeting you 3 mere days after seeing in the forest one such as yourselves stalking Mayundal and me. Aye, a coincidence.
You,
Too coincidental. What proof have I that you are not with him? What is your business here?
you may ask. What was the guy's name we stayed with?
Yeah, the guy that we stayed with,
His name, you could call him Abuno.
Abuno. That guy.
Abuno can vouch for us. We are strangers here, and we know nothing of this land or your creatures. In fact, he saved us from a yeti. We were caught in a blizzard.
I know of no Buno.
Yeah, well, how about Mahalavao? Mahalovao.
Mahaloveo.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That is,
I know no Mahaloveo.
well, you don't get out very much, do you? Because those are not two made-up names.
I shepherd my flock in the forests, and I prefer isolation to cavorting about the country, meeting all of these other people. Now you three, you four, Bracken's there too, yeah. You four,
Oh yeah, he is. I forgot about that.
methinks that you are here with him, and I must know that you are not, in order for you to continue being here. If this Buno can vouch for you, then certainly you must be able to tell me your business here. That is what I asked you. You gave no answer.
We are
Yes.
searching for information, looking to find someone who can translate ancient texts.
Who are you looking for?
Well, the Cliff Watcher.
How know you of the Cliff Watcher?
Yeah, hearsay. We would tell you exactly who, but it doesn't seem that you know names.
And where are you? Where are you on your way to now?
We are over looking for Heruden, the brewer.
I know
Yeah, what he
of
said.
I know of Gerundian. I know of him.
Oh, this one's better.
I require proof. You three, you four, you shall go into the forest and bring me this poacher. Then the Yundal will decide his fate, and you will have proven yourselves innocent. In fact, you shall not find Gerundian unless you prove yourself innocent.
Yeah, sure.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I like under my breath say to Warth, give her whatever she wants, and then we'll just go find him once we're out of eyesight. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Of course,
we'll go
we shall
to the
do as
forest.
you ask, madam.
Which direction to the forest?
I believe he happened to have a den of some sort where he hides and poaches. To the south, he must not be too far from where he was stalking us the other day. Here, take one of my kula with you. It will help you to track.
You are going to. So you thought that we were poachers, yeah? And
With him.
you are afraid of us taking your animals, and then you're giving us one of your animals?
You will take the kula.
We're taking the bird, not the rhinos.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure.
If you are indeed poachers, the kula will kill you.
Yay.
Well, and that's something.
We have gotten passage from the chief. This has been a while ago. I forget stuff now.
I remember all things.
Yeah, well, we did not
Yes.
get to the chief. There were 3 wise men. The chief was
Dang
and the 3 wise men gave us or less information about the and permission to go seek Herundin the brewer.
I can find the Yuntal, the village elder, and he will decide.
Fine.
You four, follow me.
Oh,
No.
well, okay.
Fine. Let's go.
So she begins to, she suspiciously kind of motions for you to follow and whistles, and two of those big old gula come around the corner and kind of flank you guys. And you head down back down the streets sort of the way that you came, and you exit town. Actually, you go around the lake with the totem pole, and you exit town, and you head a little bit to the east, and once into slightly past the tree line, because this Hawaii is entirely encircled by forest. You hear her say, "Idari, Idari," and a moment later you hear a returning kind of a returning call, who says, "Afandai, I come," and this booming voice, and you hear thump, thump, footsteps a few moments later, and through the trees, this massive, like more than 20-foot tall giant, and his four rhinos and two kula come, and he looks to be just a bit more offensively than the others, and he has he has got some more dyed cloth on his vestments and things like that, and the female giant says, "This is the Untal of our village. The closest thing we have to a chieftain. He oversees day-to-day matters." And she says, "You know of the poacher that I mentioned 2 days past?" You see, he says, "Oh, yes. What are these?
We are not the poacher.
Are these the poachers? Are you?"
We are not poachers.
We arrived here on the shores 2 days ago, and it is completely coincidental that 2 days ago you saw. We have been traveling from the shores, from the dock where Mahaleo.
Mahalo.
Mahaloveo, I know him indeed.
And then last night we spent the night with man, I can't remember his name now. And then we just got here, Abuno, and then we just got here today, not an hour ago. We are not your poacher.
You know of those whom I know as well. Since you know their names, you must not have been pulling them out of your butt. That does not seem possible.
Indeed.
I believe you are not the poachers. However, however, it is coincidental. And she goes ahead and says, "They say they are looking for Herundian, and that their business is to find the Cliff Watcher." And he says, "You must be here on serious business."
Indeed, we are.
I told them
Great
to prove
importance.
their innocence, to find this poacher. And he looks at you guys up and down, scratches his beard. I like this idea. I think you four shall find the poacher. Prove yourselves to us, and that you are indeed telling the truth, that your business is not notorious here. Perhaps you are of good intent, but helping Giantkin with something will make all of us, even Gerundian, more likely to help you find the Cliff Watcher.
Yeah, okay.
Very well.
Is this the forest to the south that you want us to scour for Fey interests?
You're slightly east, and so he points southward and says, "Down that way. What was it? A day's journey?" She says, "Yes, about a day south. There was a rocky bluff. I saw him stalking us from it. He must be very skilled, for not even my Kula noticed him on that occasion. But he fled. I think he saw me notice him."
Can you tell me how he was dressed, what he looked like?
It was very fast, but he was dressed in camouflaged, a white cloak to blend with the snow. Then perhaps some other. Other than that, I saw little, but his white blending in with the snow. I believe you may find him, as I said, to the south. One day. Seek out signs of his den or wherever he may be holing up and poaching. I believe he has ill intent towards our precious flocks.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
well.
we will go take a look, I suppose.
Very good. Return with him, and I will take you to Gerundian myself.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and perhaps even then, Gerundian and I can give you some advice together.
Very well. To the south, you say?
To the south. Let's go.
And she says, "Shala!" And one of the Kula goes, "Pooh!" And
Yeah.
this comes up right next to you guys. Kind of sniffing on you. Real sniffing on you, Bu.
Beastkin. I don't think Sadie's going to save you.
Say something into the mic.
I heard her say meow.
Yeah.
And the giant says, "Feed her these often and call her by her name, Shala, and she will cooperate with you." And she gives you a bag off her belt, and sets it down in front of you with a thunk. And that's what she does. So
What's in the bag?
do you open it?
I guess I peek inside.
Inside, you see these kind of strange vegetable-looking things. They're purple, and one end has a gnarly root out of it. She says, "Her favorites. Don't forget. Give them to her often. Shala is her name. She would cooperate. And if you do not, she may not cooperate. And you would not like that. Kula can be very feisty."
I believe you.
Yeah, just like her owner. Yeah. Well, let's go.
Go
Yeah,
then.
I put the bag on Tinkerbell.
Do not fail to return with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go look around. There's no guarantees that there's even anything real, but we will go look.
He nods. And they just kind of stand there
We head off.
Going south.
looking at you.
I go to the bag and I take one of the tuber vegetables out, and I wave it at the beast. I just start walking. No, I'm not giving it to him.
It pokes your hand. It pokes your hand with its beak, and it hurts.
Ow.
I
Ow.
think you better give it to her, Bu. Otherwise, she's going to take the hand with it.
I snap it into 2 pieces, and I give the bigger piece, but I'm keeping a smaller piece for myself.
She snatches it with absolute ferocity, like she's starving. And all right, there you are. What are you guys doing?
I'm smelling the smaller piece as we walk.
Walking south.
She's continually watching you, Bu, with her treat.
So if it only took a day for the giants, since I'm so short, will it take me 2 days to get there? I just want to know the time frame.
It will take longer than 1 day. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right. You four begin traveling southward, and you get into the thicker parts of the forest, and hear the massive trees. And thick undergrowth, bushes and things, begin to shield you a bit from the wind here, but you hear it howling through the treetops, and really just. And further into the forest you go, hours passing with no sign of human activity really at all. You see some giant footprints here and there, and footprints of the rhinos and other kula in the areas where there is less less snow on the ground. And it begins to snow lightly about the end of the day. And it's evening now. And what do you guys do?
As we were walking, I was inspecting the vegetable, the tuber thing. Can I kind of recognize what this is? With my history of vegetables and farming and stuff like that.
Roll wisdom.
Vegetable Lord.
Vegetable lore. 17.
Yes, you recognize that this is a vegetable called Attila. And
toxic for humanoids.
No. It's not toxic, non-toxic for humanoids. However, it is generally a good idea to cook it before a human eats it because it's just really tough.
And what kind of vegetable is it closest to?
It's a tuber closest to. It's like a weird potato.
Okay.
A weird purple potato however, its taste is quite different. It's not a sweet potato. It's more like a sour potato.
I guess the overgrown pigeon likes it.
Yeah. I've taken a bite of it and like, oh yeah. Okay. And then I'll throw the. I just want a little nibble.
Okay. It's like scrapes against your teeth, and you're like.
Oh man, Orth, you've got to try this. It leaves a very sandy texture in your mouth. You should have some.
I don't think I want sandy texture in my mouth, to be honest.
No, it's good. It's good. It's a very hearty vegetable.
Oh, it sounds like something Mirren would like then.
Yeah, let me try it.
Yeah, here. The bird's going to try to take your fingers off if you take too big of a bite, but
Shala sees you eating it, and she's.
You better give her the rest of that before she gets feisty with it.
I just take a little nibble and hold it up for the bird.
She completely just snatches it from your hand. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, I guess I need my my dice thingy. It's a natural one.
Oh, Jesus.
oh no. Uh-oh.
Before you can give it to Shala, she's like so eager, like when you give a dog a treat, so that she with her massive beak snaps, and your hand just locks into there, and you take 6 points of piercing damage.
Oh no.
It bites deep. It is deep. Within a couple of seconds, it's let go. It lets go, but your hand is gonna be bandaged or something.
Wen, are you all right? You look like you could use a bandage on that.
Maybe some worms and dirt. You got any view?
I have some worms and dirt.
I have some in my pack, says Brecken. That looks painful. Are you all right?
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
kind of.
it's a little mangled, but I don't think we should be using our emergency supplies on that.
I've
I
got a
think,
small.
I think
bit
it'll
of,
be okay. Everything's still attached.
I've got a bit of cloth. I can wrap it a little bit if you want me to.
Yeah, I was
That
about
might
to
be a good idea.
see if there was any
yeah.
on Tinkerbell.
Brecken's got a little bit a little bit of gauzy kind of like cloth, and he binds your hand with it, so it stops bleeding for now.
I was surprised. I was for sure when I saw that thing clump down that you were going to lose a finger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of losing a finger, let's have a quick discussion
Oh,
about
boy.
lingering injuries,
Mm.
which I brought up a while back.
I was hoping you forgot.
But we didn't talk about it since then.
There's
I-
a real table in the player's handbook.
There
Is
is,
that right?
yes, and there's also one that someone on D&D Beyond made that was pretty good. But yeah, there is a real table. But I was thinking that only in some very crucial like boss fight situations or story crucial situations in battles, if the conditions are there for, I believe if you get knocked out, I believe if you get knocked out, I don't have the rules in front of me, but if something goes really wrong, you can get a permanent injury, like you could like lose an eye or a finger or
I don't mind character weathering personally. I think it makes it more interesting.
I would only ever do it in very important story moments.
I think it's interesting, but I am up for discussion on it.
It is, of course, unlikely that it would happen, but it's realistic. I mean, something real bad happens in battle. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it only happens if you are reduced to 0 hit points, though, which...
You reach to push the orc off the bridge, but instead you gently caress his back, and he is uncomfortable.
He is uncomfortable. All right, so evening falls, and then the darkness grows around you, coming in from all about. Look at that. That's cool. That looks a lot like where you are right now. I love
Now
it.
we're in forest.
I love that a lot, actually.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize. What
All right, so you approach that area right there. And that's exactly what you see, is this kind of this raised up area on the left, and and some stands, a little stand of trees on the right, and the snow is still falling a little. It's a little bit heavier now, but it's not really accumulating or anything, and the wind has died down a bit, so it's peacefully falling. And what do you guys do for the evening?
I set up a fire.
All right, yeah, you get it.
I give
that if there's a survival check needed.
Do a survival check to see if you find a good place to bed down.
I'm assisting.
A good safe place.
survival check. I think that's.
I'm assisting. So you get
Ooh,
advantage.
natural 20, baby.
Ah,
Woohoo.
Doesn't need it.
yes. So it turns out that behind that rocky bluff, there's sort of a little. It's kind of a skinny space that you can but you all can fit through it. And behind there's a little tiny gully, and it's surrounded by thick trees and foliage up above. And it's a pretty dang safe place it's a pretty defensible, nice place to bed down. And it's just big enough for all you guys in a fire.
What's the bird's name again? Sheila?
Shala.
Shala.
Shala, I call. And I reach into the bag and I toss her the gourd. Or
Yeah, the Tilla. She enthusiastically leaps and punches down and
good
launches it.
Shala.
And then she coos at you.
And then I go to. I want to make sure I get on the good side of Tinkerbell too. So
jealousy.
I pull
Looking at other animals, are you?
No, I do not need this freaking monster murder bird. I just don't want it to kill me and rip my face off in the middle of the night.
He'll only kill us if we're poachers.
Yeah, and I trust her to be smart enough to figure that out.
Brecken takes one of the tillers and kind of gently leans in and feeds it right to her, and she just takes it gently and then ravenously devours it
like a lady.
I am quite impressed, Brecken. Have you are you experienced with animals?
Oh yes, I love animals. Besides,
of course you are.
Besides Fabian, I just always liked animals. I don't know. A few nights ago, on the deck of the ship, I had been drinking, and I thought that I saw a white griffin fly up from off of it. I don't know.
No. I can tell you that wasn't a real thing.
Did you get into some of Graziella's special stock?
Is that a euphemism?
No. I don't think it was. We did haul up from the ocean a thing of wine, and that might have been corrupted by some sort of. You didn't have any of that, did you?
Actually, yes, I did. It wasn't very good, but I drank a lot of it.
We should throw that away.
Yeah, we should. Perhaps it was hallucinatory. But I sort of thought that I did see one. But I have no explanation for it.
That must be your imagination. Running wild, yeah? Because we all read in that letter, yeah, we read it in the letter, that there was something called the White Griffin, so...
Well, griffins are used to send messages, often.
Do you think that maybe then you are getting a message from, like, something? Is someone sending you a message?
Well, I wouldn't be sending me a message. I don't know.
Check your pack. Do you have a letter in there?
No, I certainly don't. I haven't received any letters. But those are often used as couriers. They have keen smells and are extremely intelligent. Just kind of have a sense of know where they can deliver letters and things like that.
Maybe since you were drunk, you saw the owl and thought it was a griffin because it's white.
How many are griffins, Mirwin?
Cora, there are many species of griffins. I mean, there are many species of griffins. Courier griffins are usually white or grey in color, and they're about the size of, well, a small dog. Whereas, I mean, there are great mountain griffins that can grow to the size of 20, 30 foot wingspan.
Wow.
And there even as a very small, or nearly mouse to rat size, griffinoid, commonly called a sparrow mouse, and it's native to where I originally come from, Eritha.
Wow.
Neat. Are they adorable?
They are very adorable. Sometimes they'll land on your arm, and they make this the little cutest little sounds. Just love them.
Of course they do.
So you guys get a fire going, and you're sat around it telling all these stories and speaking of animals and stuff. And that's basically what happens. You guys gonna take shifts in the night?
Sure.
I'll take first shift.
All right.
I'll do half the night since I only need to sleep for 4 hours, so I'll do first
Okay.
half.
I guess I'll take second. I'm gonna take last to watch Mirwin.
Yeah.
He's taken half the night since you only have to sleep 4 hours. So only one of you has to do the shift. Who do you wake up after your uneventful shift?
Mirwin. And then I run.
Ah! Where's that?
It's your time for the shift. Yeah.
Meh. Meh. Good thing I have
Mirwin.
short, stubby arms.
You you guys crack me up. During your shift, you don't see anything, but you hear a sound that you've heard before. Kind of a and it only lasts a minute or so.
Is it another
And then
Yeti?
after it, you see a few wisps of
It's the
mist.
pilgrim.
You see a few wisps of mist just above the little hollow you're in. And you saw, and then a brief flash of light, as if from a lantern, and then again gone. And the noise, and then another few wisps of mist. And that's all that occurs. Did you react to it in any way when it happens?
Yes.
What do you do?
I yell. Ah!
Brecken wakes up. What is that? He grabs at his sword.
I thought I saw something.
Do you guys wake up?
Sound
I don't
asleep.
know. Yes.
Roll Constitution.
Oh,
That's what I like to go to Constitution when for various
natural
things.
19.
I rolled
You
a
don't.
10.
You don't wake up. You're just dead asleep. But Warith, you're like, "Bleh!"
What
I heard that noise
on
and the flashy light thing.
dearest are you doing?
Like that time we saw the guy with the lantern and that turned into Tinkerbell.
Yes!
For the last time, Tinkerbell is not a changeling demon
Oh.
or the pilgrim or any other thing
Well,
other than a horse.
it's the same thing that happened then.
There's no threat. Is there a threat? Right.
I look around to see if I see anything that could, kill
Puts
me.
his sword back in his scabbard. Yeah, make a perception check. Or investigation. Sorry. Yeah. Rolls on your wisdom. Or intelligence, sorry.
It was a 1.
Well, you don't see anything, but you suddenly get really anxious.
It's gonna get us. I can't see it. Well, I know it's there. Oh God! Keep it together, Zabby.
Do you need some? Do you need some wine or something?
Why would you think I need wine?
okay?
I'm fine. Fine. Fine.
Brecken pops a cork out of a flask and says, "Have a drink."
Fine. Here.
All right. All right. Well, maybe lay down.
That's what I was gonna do.
You can go back to sleep. Everything's fine.
You are unable. You're unable to sleep for the rest of the night, which is a couple hours. The dawn breaks, and slowly the sun begins to shine into your little hollow that you've been sleeping in. You awake, and you are all awake around the your fire, which burns very low.